Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 51st tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we're going to check out some aggregate functions. And aggregate functions, as the name suggests, are used to work on a bunch of rows, right? So they basically get things together and then they do some stuff for you, and we're going to check out what kind of stuff they can actually do for you. So the first one that we're going to have a look at is the count star function, and this is probably something that we've used a couple of times in this course, and I might have just used it without explaining the function much. So I thought that there should be a separate tutorial for all the aggregate functions, and that's why I'm going to talk about this in a bit more detail now. So the function is used to count the number of rows or records that are returned when you execute a query in a result set, right? So let's say you want to find out the number of records that you have in your employee table, right? So in that case, what you'll do is type in select and then the name of the function, and then within parentheses you'll type in star, right? And then you'll type in the keyword from and then the name of the table, which is employee. So when you execute it, you see that you've got 18 records in the table employee, right? And you can verify that by executing a select star from employee and then counting all the rows that are there in the table. But then this might not seem too useful for the employee table because this table has got just 18 rows. But then if you've got a table with like a lot of data, imagine Facebook's database in which it has a table that has details of all users from a country, that would run into millions and millions of rows. So in that case, the count star function is very useful. It just tells you how many records are there in a table, and you can also use it with the where clause. So let's say you want to find out how many employees are there in the employee table that are less than 20 years old. So you type in where here, and then there's the age field in the table, so you type in age and then the less than operator and then 20, right? So when you execute this, you see that no rows are returned in the result set, and that's because all the employees in the employee table are more than 20 years in age. So if you want to find out how many employees are, let's say, greater than 25 years in age, then you see that there are 12 employees in total in the employee table that are more than 25 years old. So I'll just show you guys the employee table once, from employee. And when you execute it, you see that you can make sure that there is no employee that's less than 20 years old. And if you count the number of employees who have age greater than 25, I'm sure exactly that would be 12, right? So that's the count star function. And the next function that we're going to check out is the max function, and what that is used for is it tells you the maximum value for a particular field in a table, right? So let's say you want to find out what is the maximum age of all the employees in the employee table. So what you're going to do is just get some part of it out, max, and then within parentheses you type in the field on which you want the function to work. So I wanted to work on the age field for all the rows, right? That's why it's called an aggregate function. And then the from keyword and then the name of the table, so that's employee. And you see that the oldest employee in the employee table is 36 years old, right? And similarly you can find out the least value or the minimum value through the min function, right? And let's say we want to find out the youngest employee in the table. So there you go, we see that the youngest employee is in fact 20 years old. That's why if we would have executed the query that we did a couple of queries ago, the one in which we try to find out number of employees who are less than 20 years old, that returns 0. But if you would have used that with less than equal to operator, then it would have returned one value at least, right? So the least value is 20. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial we're going to check out a couple of more aggregate functions, and then we're going to check out a couple of DDL commands. So there is not much to cover in this course now. We're almost there, almost through, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and you may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.